In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear shock absorber mount on this Nissan Pathfinder. The reason you would most likely replace this is because of the seal that sits on top. If this goes bad, water gets inside the trunk. So let's get started. Use a 21mm socket, remove all 5 of your lug nuts, and then remove the wheel. With the wheel off, you can see the shock absorber located towards the front of the rear wheel well. And I'm going to first take off the lower bolt. It's right there behind that plastic shield. It's an 18mm headed bolt. You do not have to hold the backside. It is a welded nut that's part of the control arm. The bolt is unthreaded, but it's a little stuck in there, so what I'm going to do is put some pressure on this arm. This should raise the suspension up and release the bolt. There you go. And if you're on the floor, you can just use a regular jack, floor jack. I'm using a pull jack because I'm on a lift. At this point, you should be able to remove the rest of this bolt. There it is. Inspect it. This one's in good condition, so I'm going to reuse it. Now I'm going to carefully lower this. Shouldn't go down too far. Still has a bunch of control arms connected to it, but I'm going to leave this here for reinstallation because I will need to lift this right back up. Up top here you have 2 13mm mounting nuts. Let's get both of those off of here. Pull the shock down. It should compress easily, not quickly, but easily. And now you can pull it right out of the control arm, and there's your shock. Let's separate the shock absorber from the shock mount. This is an 18mm mounting nut. I'm going to use an impact gun on it because when you do that, a lot of times you don't have to hold the stud. We may still end up having to, in which case you could use a little wrench, but most likely some locking pliers if you have to do that, and do this by hand with a wrench. But hopefully you have one of these, and it should get the job done. Once again, 18mm socket. Hold on to it. Nope. So it looks like we do have to hold on to it. That's all right. I'm going to grab some locking pliers. Let's see what fits. Usually the larger, the better. And I'm going to grab my 18mm wrench. All right, so here's what we're going to do here. I'm going to put a wrench on the nut side, and then grab this with some locking pliers. And there we go. Now it shouldn't be very tight, but especially if you broke it free with a power tool. But it is sometimes a little cumbersome when the shaft starts to spin. All right, it's just a little bit left on there. So we can get that with this. Yep. All right. Set that aside and remove the mount. And there's your mount. Here's the new mount. First off, you want to make sure that this rubber seal, this rubber gasket, is at the top of the mount, not underneath it. This is the underneath. This is the top, and you want to make sure that it's facing this way, not upside down. This basically seals up against the body. It's important, otherwise you get water in the trunk. And we have to take this boot as well as the bump stop out of this one. Now, this one's going to fall right out for me. But if it doesn't, you're going to have to stick your hand in there and actually unwedge it from there. To get this off of here, I'm going to stick a pry bar in here and just very carefully pry it up, just like that. There's the old mount. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to place it upside down like this, and right around this edge, I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit. To ease installation, I'll actually put a little bit of grease on here. This is silicone paste, but you can use anything that's rubber friendly, anything that won't swell it up, brake grease if you have it, or you can use some silicone spray, whatever you have. Basically, if you make this area a little slipperier, it'll slide in with ease. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this. So I can slide this in underneath it, or inside of it, I should say. And this will be a little trickier just because it's not out in the open. So I'm going to slide that in all the way until it snaps into place, and it just did. it's not going to fall out. So there's the new mount. The seal has fallen off. You want to make sure that stays on. Now this is ready to install onto the shock. Now take your mount and the shock, slide the two together until the shaft comes out the other end. And now you want to take the mounting nut, thread that on by hand, make sure it doesn't cross thread at all, and just keep going until it's basically bottomed out. Now I'm going to try to tighten it with this until it's bottomed out, but it may not work. Okay, so that's all it wants to go. I'm not going to continue spinning it like that because I don't want to damage the shock internally. Because I need less gripping force now than I did when removing it, I'm just going to use this 8mm wrench to hold the shaft in place. The torque for this mounting nut is 41 foot-pounds. I'm going to give it a shot at torquing it. Can't guarantee that I can actually get it just because it's free spinning. Yeah, so tightening it with a power tool will be your best bet here, unless you have one of those pass-through sockets. With this, I'll give it a couple taps of the air gun. Now before we get this into the vehicle, we need to prime or start the shock. This basically means compressing it all the way until it bottoms out, letting it expand by itself. And the reason you want to do this is to mix all the oils that are inside so that it can basically activate itself and be ready to go when you install it. If you don't do this, which by the way, I'm going to do it 3 to 5 times, and if you don't do it, you might hear some noises clunking over bumps just because there will be some free play in it. So just let this expand all the way on its own and compress it all the way down again. Now take your shock absorber and line it up with the control arm for the most part. And now you're going to want to compress it so you can put it underneath the body. Bring it up, make sure that gasket's still seated, make sure this area is in good condition. Let's wipe off some of the sand that's there. And then the two studs need to line up with their mounting holes. There we go, just like that. Let's get the two mounting nuts and secure this on here. Push the shock up, start on one of the mounting nuts and the other one. All right, there we go. Now we can tighten them both up. The torque for these is only 23 foot-pounds, so I'm not going to go crazy tightening these. I'm just going to make them snug. These two mounting nuts get torqued to 17 foot-pounds. That's one. And the second one. Now we have to use our support so we can line up the bottom of the shock here with the control arm. The shock's a little too high up, so we're going to raise the suspension. Slide your bolt in and start it onto the threads. Make sure it starts on smoothly like this one. This bolt gets torqued to 70 foot-pounds. Now I'm going to remove my support. And now let's get the wheel back on. Let's get the wheel on. Start on all 5 of your lug nuts, bottom them out, and then we'll torque them to spec in a cross pattern. "83 foot-pounds is the torque for these. Go in a cross pattern. And I always like to double check them. To double check them, you can go in a circle.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.